Thank you for listening to another episode of the Upstate Golf Guys Podcast, where 518 golfs the Cape. We hope you enjoy. Welcome back to another episode of the Upstate Golf Guys Podcast. This is part 2 and the final part of the Golfweek Spotlight Hilton Head Nationals edition. Tonight, I have my co-host across the screen from me, Mikey. What up, kid?
What up?
Not much, buddy. And then I have my A-Flight champion in my heart. He really, truthfully... He won it all, man. He should have won it. He could have won it. He had a blast. We were just chatting. I mean, he just fell a little short. But my man, Matt Wilgocki, what up, kiddo?
What's going on, brother? How you doing?
Not much, buddy. Not much, man. I'm here. And then last but certainly not least, I have the director and the man in charge of it all who ran a great tour this year. He truthfully did. Adam Cahill. What's up, brother?
Hey, how you doing?
Good, man. I'm good, man. Thanks for coming on tonight, man, and taking the time, man. I know you're tired. You all had a really long trip home. It was definitely a wild ride home for us. Mikey might tell you a little bit about that later. I'm not going to incriminate anybody, yeah. Anyways, but we do have him coming on shortly, hopefully. Tom Mayone will be joining us in a little bit. He was our taxi ride home for the day, and I appreciate him getting us home safe and sound. Mikey is showing off that hat, baby. He's showing off that hat. Mikey, first, why don't I don't know. Why don't you just tell me your thoughts of the week from start to finish, from the ride down to the event? What were your thoughts, my man?
Ride down was good. You know, we split it up into 2 days, so it wasn't too bad. Got down there, got to play a practice round at Oyster Reef.
Yep.
Kind of had that one kick us in the ass the
first
first day.
First time learning that Bermuda grass. We were talking about that all night.
All weekend.
Yeah.
Bermuda grass is so different to play on. So different. Got to experience
Bermuda grass is like moss.
Yeah.
It is. It really is.
Different animal, man.
It is, man. Maddie, why don't you tell me a little bit about your experience? You played down there 3 or 4 days prior to the event, so you kind of learned that Bermuda grass. But still, go ahead,
dude. I knew going into it, it was going to be different. It was going to be a challenge, adjusting and not playing how I did back home. But one thing I didn't know that I was walking into was that you can't take a divot down here. I thought that maybe, you could kind of get into the earth a little bit and get through it. No, that's not the case.
Nope.
You cannot do that. So I learned that the hard way. And unfortunately, I learned that in round 2. I finally dug down because even here, I like to sweep the ball off the ground. I don't like to take a divot. And so, yeah, I learned the hard way there and got discouraged and chunked a ball in the water, chunked another one in the water, and chunked another one in the water. And that was a triple. So that pissed me off right there. So I tried picking up on that, but in those windy conditions that we had down there in Hilton Head when the tournament started till the end was difficult. Very difficult.
I agree.
Most days they're playing 2 to 3 clubs up. Now, 2 to 3 clubs up to us, how do we know how far a ball's actually going when we're losing distance with them?
Right.
We don't know how far that ball is going. We're down there playing, trying to adjust and compete with these guys that play and know their own yardages down there. So.
Yep. And then you're catching flyers out of that Bermuda grass. Like,
oh man,
I was finding myself.
Knuckles more than anything, right, Adam? Did you see that? Like it was
I mean,
like
a lot.
in
I
the
mean,
air.
yeah. I mean, a lot of times if the ball is above the Bermuda, you're going to get the higher yardage. A couple of times I would be sitting at like 170 and have a little downwind, and I would be hesitant on what I needed to hit. I mean, I had a 9-iron, an 8-iron, and a pitching wedge in my hand. But then, when the ball is in the actual Bermuda and it's deep, as soon as you hit it, you do get that little knuckleball, no spin, low ball that just keeps rolling and rolling and rolling, especially at Atlantic Dunes. Those greens are so firm that as soon as it hit the green, it just didn't stop. I mean, regardless, I had a 4-iron from like 180 and I punched it under the trees, went right at the pin, hit about 20 yards short and just kept rolling all the way through the green, all the way to the back, about 25 yards in the back of the green. It just didn't stop.
Yeah.
It's a lot of rollout.
Like it's just very, very, very hard to control, any type of a spin unless you're hitting it real high off the fairway. But the rough was just, you didn't know. It was inconsistent. You didn't know, one hole I'm hitting a pitching wedge 170 yards, and then the next hole I'm hitting a 9-iron 140. It just depended on, what that hole was. Golden Berry had a lot of trees, so there wasn't as much wind, but Atlantic Dunes, like Matt knows, Robert Trent Jones, is kind of similar. It's kind of open. So a couple of holes, you won't get wind, and then you hit the meat of the course, and it's just dead in your face.
Yeah, it was brutal out there, man. It was an animal coming right off the Atlantic Ocean, just 30, 35 miles an hour, just right in your face.
I told Mikey for us C&D flighters, it was basically just hit the ball and pray and just hope it goes that yardage and that distance we wanted it to. Because
I couldn't get over how much rollout we were getting at Atlantic Dunes.
Yeah.
Like you said, the greens were so fast.
So
go ahead. How are pin locations for you guys?
They were in the back.
Pin locations were not too bad for what D was playing on Saturday, because I asked when I went there on Sunday, and I looked at some of the pins, and they were like, oh, they're not too bad. Like hole 15, that par 3, you guys were on the front right, but for the champ flight, hole 15 is an actual bitch of a par 3, probably the worst par 3 I've ever played in my life. And Friday, they put it on the top left, which is right on a hill that all slopes to the back, which is a 15-foot high bunker shot behind the green. And then to the left is dead. And then the next day, on Sunday, they put it on the right back. I'm like, what in God's earth?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It's brutal. I mean, it's a 215-yard par 3, too, that you're hitting up to a back pin that no chance. The first day I hit a 9-iron from 180 yards. Because it was playing downwind. It rolls 15 yards short of the pin, rolls to the back by the hole, and goes all the way back down.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You just couldn't stop your ball, so you had to play it almost like a par 4, and you had to play it to the front and just kind of chip it up.
Yep. No, I mean, go ahead, Matty.
I don't know about you guys, but I didn't have a calm day either at Robert Trent Jones or Arthur Hills. It was windy.
The calmest day was the last day.
Yeah.
For us.
Yeah.
For sure.
And of course now it's 80 degrees and less than 10 mile per hour winds.
Dude, so I get back into New York and it was like I was in Hilton Head and Myrtle Beach and it was fucking 85 degrees here. I was like, why did I even leave?
Yeah, no, it's beautiful today here. I was like, I told my wife that. I said it's warmer today than it was down there all week.
Don't get used to it.
For real.
And Thursday.
But Adam, did you get a chance to play Hampton Hall ever, or get to see Hampton Hall? Because I haven't
played it yet. No,
because it is certainly a beautiful, beautiful course. Shout out Dennis or whoever organized that and got us on there, because it was really a treat to play on that, as I think it was one of the only private courses this week. I'm not totally sure, But dude, it was just so long. And so I don't know if people told you the same, if they were having the same problem, but I mean, I was smashing my drives and I was still like 180, I'm par fours, like 180, 190 out for my second shot. Now, I'm not a long hitter. And Don Frame, he might have agreed as well that he's not a long hitter. And then they had these big, giant greens, right? That aiming for. I'm just aiming for the center of these greens, right? I'm not pin hunting, hoping I get in the middle of this green. And they were just, once I was there, dude, they were so fast. I don't know. I was asking a couple of the guys, like Steve and Rob, what greens they liked and preferred, and it was mixed feelings. I know Steve said he preferred the Hampton Hall greens. They were a little quicker and a little, I don't. It's tough to explain. They were just giant greens. They were huge, dude. So for us C&D flighters, when you're just aiming for the middle of the green and then to two putt from there was certainly a challenge for us, C&D fighters. So now I'm on there looking to try to two putt from 60 feet away. It's like it was just tough. It was tough for me. But Matt, go ahead. What were you going to say, buddy?
No, but I was off the tee. I have the Arcos now.
Yep.
So that's very accurate, So it'll take like your GPS off the tee box and then it'll ping wherever you hit your next club. And there was times I only hit my driver 212 yards down there, and I thought I piped it
into the wind, or I mean, with the wind in the face.
Yeah, and then my average drive was only 250.
Yep.
I don't think I hit the ball over 280 down there. Maybe 276, I think it was.
That ocean air, dude, and when the wind just is gusting in your face, it seemed like it was truthfully in your face more than it was at your back. I don't know if you guys felt the same way.
I can't get over how much different the golf is down there. Like everything changes.
It's way different, man. It's way. You can't chip the same. You can't hit out of the fairway the same. You can't look at a putt the same.
And then white stakes everywhere. Do not have an errant drive. Do not have a bad drive. I mean, they're everywhere.
What did you guys see for wildlife down there?
Oh, so many gators and the coolest birds ever, bro.
Dude, I didn't see my first gator. I didn't see my first gator until it was like almost 3/4 of the way through the first day. I almost wanted to call Adam a liar. Adam's like, you'll see tons of gators. You'll see tons of.
Alligators are weird because down there, if it's not a certain temperature, if the sun's
that's
not
what
out,
it was.
That's what it was. They stay underwater. So if temperature goes over 65 and it's sunny, they'll start popping out.
Yep, and that's exactly what happened. It was the afternoon
about
and the sunny.
10:30, 11 o'clock. I seen one. It was probably a good 7-8 footer.
It was a beauty.
Yeah, we were playing Atlantic Dunes on Sunday, and there was about a 14-footer on hole 17 just off the tee.
Nice, that's a good size one.
That was a big one.
So Adam,
yeah, it was a big one, and it came right up too. While we were driving, and it just popped right up. It was just sunbathing, but it looked like a great white shark sitting on the side of a hill.
Yeah, man, I bet the one I saw was probably like 9-10 foot.
Adam, have you spoken to your mom about like cost of living down there in the South? I've been looking on Zillow just for the shits and giggles, and I am telling you. So we've been currently looking for homes here in upstate New York, and you cannot find a house for what we're looking for. It's going to be from 400 to 500,000. Okay.
Yeah.
Dude, when I was looking at the homes down there for like the 2,000 square foot homes, the smaller ones, they're like still like 280, 300,000 for homes, and taxes, dude. I don't know if it's the golf down there that like pays for everything or the tourists, but the taxes are like a third of New York. Like, what are we doing in New York State? Have you guys been questioning that on your ride home like today? Like wondering what the fuck we're doing up there?
I question that every time I go down there and why I'm in New York State.
I mean, it's seriously especially beautiful.
I mean, especially now with Myrtle Beach. Myrtle Beach, I've been going there for the last 3 years, and they're building houses, they're building condos, apartments. I believe that 15% or 20% of the population has increased over the last 2 years, and majority are from New York and New Jersey. We were at golf, me and Johnny, on Myrtle Beach, and every starter that we met each and every morning, which, by the way, first off, Myrtle Beach, the starters are like, I don't know, they're like leeches. As soon as you park your car, they're in the back of your trunk trying to open it for you and try to grab your bags, and then they're trying to get that little tip of theirs. But every one of them in the morning, they were all from New York or New Jersey. They're like, oh yeah, I was in New York, and then after COVID, I moved down here because I had enough of what I was doing. And I'm like, so you just decided to become a starter at a golf course? And he's like, no, I was making 6 figures, but at the end of the day, doing this now, I'm making just the same amount without the taxes.
Right. And people are happier, dude. I'm noticing.
Yeah, they're much happier. They're Southern hospitality, but I was laughing because when I was in Hilton Head compared to Myrtle Beach, it's so different. I mean, a lot of the guys, I don't know if it was you or if you guys noticed it, but the security people at the Hilton Head each morning, they were kind of dickheads, but
they were pissed off. Yeah, that's one thing we got to talk about, Adam. Why don't they have like a digital fucking thing where you ain't even got to associate with any of them?
A sticker. So what Dennis should do, he really should do with all these golf courses, is say, listen, we have, 800 people coming in to town. They're all from out of town. Is there some sort of sticker that we could put on the windows of all these cars that were on the amateur tour? Because that was where I was seeing a lot of tie-up, was at the gates where, you had to talk to these people. They had to go in and get a specific, certain tag for your car. I mean, I had 1 million tags in my car, like, that I didn't need.
Yeah.
To where if we just had one sticker where we're the Golfweek Amateur Tour that week, I just think that would make things a lot quicker and go smoother for everybody.
Yeah, it's just Hilton Head's pretty strict, so they've been doing that since the beginning. I get
it, and they're how about Mikey, tell Adam what happened at Arthur Hills. Is that where the meetup was, the 19th hole? And you could not leave they warned you like 1 million times not to leave the exit to where all like the millionaires' homes are. So so we're in a rush. But Mikey, why don't you fucking finish what happens here?
We dropped Tom off, and Tom's like, "Oh, guys, go this way. Just go straight out. It'll bring
I believe you could go this way. It's a lot quicker, and it'll get you right out to where you got to go for the next course."
We get halfway down, and it starts looking like it's closed off. Everything's private. The gates are all locked and stuff. And it was like that was the $1,000 fine one.
Yeah, Mikey was like, stop, bro. Slammed on the brakes. Dude, like literally, like you just start seeing gates everywhere. Like, stop immediately. And Mikey was like, is this that exit that everybody's talking about? Fucking Tom. Leave it to we got to stop listening to Tom all the time, bro. Fucking guy. Thinking we're going to, and here I am trying to rush to get to the next course, playing taxi in the morning. That's the only downfall. That next year when I go, I think I'm going to change it up. And Mikey's more than welcome to join this as well. But I'm not driving more than one person in the morning. I am not driving more than one person.
Speaking of, there he is. What is this guy? What is he wearing?
Carl Cocktail. So Carl Cocktail, let me just fill you in what I was just speaking of. Driving in the morning, dropping, playing taxi, and how fucking annoying every entrance is going into every golf course. I felt like I was entering these gates of,
the 7 gates of hell.
No, I mean, not gates of hell. It wasn't gates of hell. I mean, they were nice gates. I mean, but it was like, we got to figure out a different way next year, man, so I could get a little practice rounds in because Jesus Christ. It was bad.
You don't get there a day before. You get there a week before.
Yeah? Okay. So wait.
He's in there, Wilgocki. We all got carpet money like you.
Right. So Carl Cocktail, tell me a little bit about your night. You just came home. We were just curious.
You're a carpet guy too.
Are you truthfully playing volleyball on a Tuesday night?
Yeah, that's
Er,
the league down here. Socrates Athletic Association has a older than 80
I love it.
volleyball league.
Right in the high school.
Yeah.
Oh,
High
Matt, he
school.
called it.
I didn't know volleyball did beer leagues.
Well, the thing is, we drink like men, Matt. We don't drink beer. We drink whiskey or vodka or.
Well,
Uh,
I like Jack Daniels. That's my choice if I'm gonna drink.
I got you. My buddy in the top center there, he likes a little bit of, Jägermeister with Red Bull. He's got to feed the demon
Jaeger
on both
bombs.
sides.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know if
It's not all
my hat.
the year 2000 Viagra.
So, Tommy, we went
Yeah.
around the horn a little bit and kind of talked about our experiences on the golf courses down there south. Tell me a little bit about your 3 rounds with that broken hand, brother. Give me a couple.
Who are you, Hulk Hogan?
What? Give me a couple highlight holes for you.
Well, on the final day, I played Arthur Hills. I started on 18, which is a par 5, a slight dog leg to the right, or kind of a double dog leg. I would ask Adam's opinion on that, but yeah, the tee shot requires a little bit of a cut, and then depending on where the pin is on the green, you got to hit a slight draw. On the final day, my hand was either numb enough or in so much pain that I couldn't differentiate the two. And I had an eagle putt from about 6 feet, but I made birdie. Then there's a par 3 I birdied on. The moral of the story is, though, I didn't finish in the money. I didn't finish in the anything. I'm pretty sure I have to play under a different name next year. It might be Brad Maxwell or Maxine Giselle or something like that.
That's okay. Can you put yes? From what I heard, Matt, is it? I shouldn't go into this topic. I'm not even going to talk about it. Actually, anyways, we'll go on to the next one. It was one of your competitors, but I'm not going to talk about that. We'll go on to
your transgender competitor.
Excuse me. We'll go to the next topic, brother. I have mixed feelings about that, but Adam,
what's to be mixed about?
What was your favorite restaurant down there?
Favorite restaurant probably was the one we all got together. I just thought that was it was a cool little place.
It absolutely was.
I went there for lunch the day before with the wife, and I just liked the setup and how it was. So it was, some good food. Now,
was Debbie and Damon there the entire time?
I was just gonna say, man, give them the shout out. Now's the time. Damien, he follows us on Instagram now, so make sure you get it right, brother.
We're gonna have to, every time you say brother, we're gonna have to take a shot.
Brother.
Now what you gonna do, brother?
Now what you gonna do, brother? But dude,
when the Hulkamania runs wild on you.
Deb and Damien took
24-inch pythons.
All I know is that next year for Nationals, Tom and I are going to be in D-Flight, and we're going to rip our shirts off just before we tee off.
Absolutely.
I personally think you guys should just wear wigs and move up a couple tee boxes.
See, now you're going back into that topic you weren't going to talk about.
I was just saying in general. I think
that man wasn't wearing a wig. He grew his hair out.
I was going to mention. I was going to mention this though, but playing for Champ Flight. I know Tom can relate to this. I know he played in A this year, but Kevin Dumasic and I were in Champ Flight, and we were talking on the way to the course the second day to Golden Bear, and we both agreed that as much as we like to be in Champ Flight up in New York, we really probably are A Flight players, and we probably will be next year. But when you go there in Champ Flight, you get to the range and whatnot, and the guys just have a different personality, a different attitude. It's kind of a turnoff because of the fact that they just think they're PGA Tour professionals when they're really not. But I remember this second day at Golden Bear, Kevin and I get there and their range is kind of small. We try to go up and hit golf balls. Dennis McCormick always goes to Champ in the morning to get us going, and he's like, "All right, guys, hit it maybe about 5 balls. If you see somebody behind you, please let them in so they can warm up too." And nobody cared. Nobody listened. Nobody moved. So, Kevin was his first experience. He's just like, man, a lot of these Champ guys are just kind of douchebags. Yeah.
So we had talked about that in our car ride home. Sorry to interject.
Go ahead.
But we were we expressed that a lot. And the other thing that I was saying is when we had the first podcast that I was on, I can't remember how many months ago that was now, but when I talked about the camaraderie of our tour, our league or whatever, that's why I think a lot of guys join the Upstate tour is like, I met Matt, and me and Matt will probably have a lifelong friendship. We found out that we're in similar trades. We like similar things. And so you develop friendships that are probably going to last maybe longer than you're going to play on the tour. Hopefully not, but maybe longer than you play on the tour. When you go to nationals, it is the
total
guys
opposite
who played the best golf in their tour coming to think that they're going to perform like they're going to the Masters or whatever.
Right.
And so that mixed with the fact that you can attest this last year, weren't all three of our rounds at Robert Trent Jones last year?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So I like that he moved you guys around a bit so you get to see a little bit more of the island. But the other thing that we discussed along when Farina, the funny guy, was talking about having to go through the 7 million gates is every year that he holds it there, like this is his 30th year, I think he should try to move each flight around. And even if you get 3 different rounds on that course, I understand how difficult it is when you have 120 guys in a flight and you got 60 on a course one day and 60 on a course another day, and then you want them to compete. But give them that third course and do the same thing. The top half go to this course because it's a tougher slope rating, and the bottom half go to this course. But then people will get to see more of the island for the money that Southerners are paying to get there, to stay there, to play there, practice rounds, skins games, skins to get in. It's a pretty significant investment for for most people, probably 5 guys or 5 days of golf. So those of us who are fortunate enough to get like a whole week down there, it's even more amazing. But the idea that the premier courses, he has an either cultivated a relationship in, or it price points him out of being able to make it affordable for us to play it. But Champ Flight guys that are PGA Tour players or ex-Korn Ferry Tour players or whatever, send them out to Harbor Town. And if you're a Champ Flight guy, make it $1,000 for you guys. Make them put some skin in the game that will make them want to be champ players. Because speaking for me and possibly Matt, we're on the bubble half the time. With the scores that we shoot from the tees that we play, one good round could put us in the champ. And a mid-season exodus from a flight that you're winning by a large margin sucks, number one. And then number two, to go down and have that experience like Kevin did. I'm sure that he was okay with it because he plays tournament golf up here, the New York Mid-Am and whatever. But to go down there and get a guy that, is a +4 handicap who didn't make any money, playing golf on any of the mini tours or whatever, and then he goes out and wins the regional event, gets free access to the finals, which is the nationals that we just played, and then wins the nationals by 4 strokes, and then he gets to play that for free again, and he gets enough money to buy a new set of clubs or all the golf balls he needs. It is disheartening for a guy coming from another champ flight where, if you're a 3-8, you're dead last in champ flight. You go out in your tour, you lose every week, not by a large margin, but you lose. And then you qualify for nationals and you think it's going to be this great experience. And you get down there and some guy who's got alignment sticks doesn't allow you to hit a golf ball before you tee off. So,
I mean, a lot of the guys are still, they're nice, but it's a lot difficult. I mean, these guys, like Tom said, last year 3 under won. The year before they played actual Hampton Hall, which was incredible. Those scores, the winner was 17 under, and then this year with the conditions, it was +6, which is incredible golf. Regardless, +6 is solid. Some of the guys I played with on day 2 and 3 were a lot better, but It was just the attitude and the personalities between Champ and A are far beyond. It's like night and day. So,
Yeah.
I remember the first year I went, I played an A flight, and it was a blast. I mean, the guys there are, borderline Champ, they're borderline B, and they're just there for the camaraderie. They're there for the experience. But like I said, I mean, when I was there the first year, I went up to the range. The guy saw me. He said, "Hey, come on in here to hit a couple. Let's warm up."
Right.
But when you go in the Champ flight, obviously these guys are top notch in the country for amateur players, and it's an honor to be in a Champ flight competing against them. But when you go and you're just warming up for an amateur tournament for a trophy and a few $100, I mean, at least just kind of have the decency to let somebody in and share even a spot with you, maybe hit 4 or 5 balls, but
Right.
it was a fight.
Trade
And then
off.
especially with Dennis, Dennis is telling these guys like, "Hey guys, let's keep it going." And then they just look at him and they just say, "Oh, okay." And then they pop out their alignment sticks, hitting
I don't
like
know
6.5 buckets.
So Matt being one of the better A flight players this year on our tour, or the best A flight player on our tour this year, and then going down to nationals with a very hot hand. I know he might be slightly disappointed with his performance, but he was a couple shots back after the first day. First day might have been the toughest conditions on Trent Jones, which we played the first day, him and I both. Very windy, several ocean holes. You can't really miss it left or right by a large margin because you'll before you know it, you're either down in a gator pit or water or sand that you didn't know existed, or you're out in the marsh or the ocean. So Adam knows that course well. Matt played a terrific round in that wind. I want to say he shot 82. He was 2 back of the leader after the first day. Um, and then we go to Arthur Hills, which I don't think that he got a chance to see. Arthur Hills is slightly more parkland, but tight. Not a very long course, at least from where we played it. I don't know if it could have been stretched out too much further, but like it's a position player's golf course. You got several par fours that are under 400 yards, but if you don't hit it 230 to the right side of the fairway, you have some low overhung tree that blocks you out from the green, and the greens are undulating, and the grain is very different down there. And if you haven't played golf in the South before, it's nothing like playing golf in the Northeast. So I think that he played amazing for that being his first time on the island. I also
Yeah.
think that, based on where he was playing in Champ, he probably got a couple of those ex pros from Champ Flight that moved back this year, whether
Got
it
their
be
way in.
from
Yep.
lack of play or handicap manipulation or whatever. I don't like to blame anybody for that, but playing with a broken hand, I got to play with some of the guys that were D flighters that are in A based on their league. I think they play a lot of par 3 courses out there and stuff like that. But um, on on day one, a guy that I will not name, who is an ex-professional football player, broke 3 clubs, which I don't have a feeling about that. If you want to break your equipment, go ahead. It just costs you money. But he was like straight laced. Couldn't get him to have a cocktail. Somebody offered him a cigarette. They were just like, "You got to calm down, man. We're 6
Yeah.
holes in, and you're down to 11 clubs. If you keep playing like this, you're gonna have to go to Dick's tonight."
I mean, that's what I like about nationals the most is that when you go down there, you get a little bit of a taste of other areas, other
Sure.
locations, other players from across the country. For us, New York Upstate, we haven't officially made a noise yet in the last 3 years, and I think it's just because a lot of the times when we play this courses up here with the bent grass. We get down there and it's a different experience. I personally probably lipped out about 25 putts throughout the weekend.
Adam, the only noise made was from me on Friday night, I believe. But anyways, keep going.
You made a lot of noise there, but
I know. Keep going.
I mean, overall, I mean, personally, I enjoy the way that the courses look out there. I like the challenge. I felt like Atlantic Dunes. I played that 2 years ago in A flight, and it was a lot different. The greens are rolling about a 14, which is very, very fast. And for me, coming off Myrtle Beach and coming off practice rounds, I know Oyster Reef probably was the one course that I felt was more like New York when it came to the greens. They were a little bit favorable.
Yeah.
But it was very difficult. I was really frustrated. The first day I had the pulls with my irons. I hit well off the tee. I was putting decent on the first day, and then I was just hitting pulls with my irons, which my irons are my strong point of my game. And then I figured that out, and I just started lipping out birdies and eagles on the second day and the third day, and it's frustrated because those holes down in Hilton Head, I mean, they're not forgiving. I mean, if you don't hit center of that cup, it's going to lip. Regardless of your speed.
Out. Yes,
there's no side doors. There's absolutely no side doors unless Paulie Pro Shop puts the pin in and makes a divot on the side. But I overall had a great experience. I mean, I did enjoy playing Atlantic Dunes and Golden Bear. It's just that when you do see these guys that are basically Hilton Head, Jacksonville, northern central
Savannah,
Florida, Texas, Louisiana. I mean, this is their home. This is their home field advantage. So, I know that I would love to see us go down there next year and just continue to get better. But I mean, a lot of the experience that you get down there, you just almost forget about it by the time you get back the next year.
Right. No,
Exactly.
I get it, man.
And that's the most difficult thing about going down there is the fact that, I played in Myrtle Beach a week before. I played well, and then you get to Hilton Head, and in my opinion, it changed drastically between Hilton Head and Myrtle Beach. The Bermuda there is tighter. And if you haven't played Atlantic Dunes is a very strange course because there's literally no rough. The whole entire course is fairway.
Like the Masters used to be. It just everything,
Everything, there's no rough, even around the green, off the tee. So if you hit one close, like hole 17 on the third day, I hit a great drive down the middle, a little bit to the right side of the fairway. It took a weird hop and just kept rolling all the way down into the water. There was nothing to stop it. So that was the more difficult challenge at Atlantic Dunes. And if you don't hit the actual course, you're OB. I mean, it was right there, right by the cart path.
Well, so what Matt might be able to tell us a little bit about is this was his first experience on Bermuda. I believe I might be talking out of turn, but he would hit a draw. So for those of us who aren't like golfers that know all the terms, his ball will start on going right and then it'll curve back to the left. So he played that shot all year long. It's beautiful. It was controlled. It's like a Kenny Perry circa when he was 18 years old. But he said he would hit a draw, and then instead of that ball landing and trundling further to the left and rolling out like it would if we played in, anywhere in the Northeast, it would take a hop dead right because this grass is just like Macente Matumbo, and it just says "not in my house" all the time.
Get out!
That's those trees, man. Those trees are not like New York. I mean, if you hit those trees, it throws it straight down.
Yep. Yeah, that happens.
So most of the time, that's a good thing for most golfers. If you're hitting a tree, you want it to come straight down. You don't want it to ricochet rabbit everywhere because at least where we're playing from, and everybody can attest to this because we all played Oyster Reef in a practice round together on Wednesday, I think Thursday.
Until after 9 holes, they said, "Sorry, go to 11."
Yeah, but so like you hit a tree and it kicks it straight down, and then the limbs. For everybody on our tour and everybody on probably every other tour, except for me, those limbs are never in anyone's way because they're 80 feet in the air. But somehow I get to hit 3 or 4 of the same limb consecutively. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And they're supposed to be what, like 85% air? What's it saying?
90% air.
Trees are 90% air. Yeah.
I remember there was a guy in my group on hole 16. At Atlantic Dunes, he hit his second shot. He hit it left, and it hit the tree, and then the tree spit it right out onto the green to about 3 feet.
Did he make the putt?
Yeah, he made it. It was a birdie, but he was basically, if it didn't hit the tree, he was OB. So he went from re-hitting from the fairway to nearly tap in birdie putt.
You got to love that shit, man. And
then the next guy hit the same tree behind us because we were at the tee box. And that tree just threw it out into some guy's lawn. So I guess it's luck of the draw, they say.
So you remember 17 at Arthur Hills, Adam. It's the par 3 over the water.
Yep.
So I don't know if Matt remembers the wind, but there was like probably a 3-club wind for everybody. There's a 3-club wind, but because of how high I hit the ball, it's like a 5-club wind. So it's 163 yards the day that we're playing it. So normal day, that's like a hard wedge or a soft 9-iron for me. I'm not being braggadocious. I just don't know how to not swing hard. So I hit a 5-iron. I'm flighting the flagstick. It's coming down. Everyone's saying, get in the hole, get in the hole. And it hits one of those wood pylons that are like right in front of the pin. So, Matt, do you remember the pin was only like 8 feet on the green?
Yeah.
So it comes right down. It looks like it's going to go in. It hits that wood pylon 50, 60 feet in the air, comes back into the water.
Because of the wind.
The guy named Tom playing with me on that day scuffs a 3 hybrid or something like that. Like just scuff F's it right across the water, and it's barely going to get over that pylon. His hits the pylon, must hit a nut or something like that, shoots it up in the air, but he's got enough topspin on it. He's got an 8-foot birdie putt. And I was like, that's real fair. You know, that's what golf is. It's a very humbling sport.
Yep.
Yeah.
But getting back to the pairings, right? So I told you I got to play with the goof offs of all of their tours. Where I was at Chamflight, 155, 171, and then I think I bowled a 300 the last day. But the guys I played with on the last 2 days, one came from Louisiana. His group, the entirety of them, there was 18, he said, I believe. They got 2 houses right next to each other. They stopped in Georgia on the way up. They played 2 rounds in Georgia. These guys are a lot like me. They're pounding cocktails and they're having a good time. None of them played well, I guess. They all talk shit to each other in a group text. They would like if the first guy in the group text made a triple bogey on hole 1, it's off to the races there, because I think that they had like a rule that if one guy made a triple bogey, they had to do a triple shot. Like, I don't know what the rules were, but they were having a lot of fun. Then on day 3, I'm in the dead last group again. It's like me and the cart guys are playing together. And the one guy from tour that showed up to play, he set his alarm for 8:15 for our 8:30 tee time because he wasn't going to play. So we drive out to the tee, and then the director or the pro from that course drives him out to the tee. His belt's unbuckled, his pants aren't zipped.
Wait,
his one shoe is tied. So then he goes, my name's James. And I was like, I'm Tom. He goes, I think we're going to get along fine. I said, me too. So we finished 18, right? I told you I had a good drive, hit my iron up onto the green, lipped out the eagle putt, made the birdie. He hit his second shot so far into somebody's house. He said, that's a triple for me. I'll meet you at the clubhouse. I have to go take a deuce. So I drive up and I wait by the pro shop for like probably 30 minutes. I thought he got lost. So he comes out. He has a bottle of water. He has a bottle of water, and we go to the first tee. And again, like, my hand was so numb or swollen at that point that I couldn't feel it. I piped my drive on the first hole, which is my second hole of the day. I hit like a 4-wood, say like 270 or whatever, right down the middle of the fairway. And he's like, oh, shit, I thought we were going to get along. He takes a sip of his water and proceeds to put one in the driving range and then one in another hole. And he goes, that's going to be a triple for me. Let me drive you out to your ball. And we get out to the ball, and he goes, I just want to explain something to you today. If I don't have a shot at the skin, I'm picking the ball up. This should be the fastest round of our life. And then he asked me if I wanted a sip of his water, and I thought that was strange, but I knew it wasn't water. So I took it. And then by the time Anthony came to pick me up, I was sleeping in his car.
Nice. Sounds good.
What are you eating, dummies?
Good time.
I got to be quiet. I'm keeping my kids up here. I got to tell you what happened to me, though. Day 2. Thanks to Tom, by the way. Thank you, Tom. Shout out.
Yeah, no, you're definitely going to make it, Anthony. Don't worry about it.
For our fucking scheduling in the morning. Adam could attest to this. So I dropped Tom off first, and then I dropped Mikey off. And I look at my phone after I drop Mikey off. I mean, it's 7:45, so I'm still running a little behind, but thinking I'm okay. Thinking the course is like 15, 20 minutes away. Fucking GPS says it's 50
Are you getting pulled over, Adam? What the hell's going on?
No, I'm looking at my dog. My dog's in the back.
50 minutes from Mikey, literally 50 from drop off at Mikey's golf course to Hampton Hall. Like, so
Anthony,
I call.
Must be the difference between our GPSs. My GPS knows how I drive, and your GPS knows how you drive.
So I call up Adam and I say, "What do I do? Like, what do I do?" And he just said, "Drive fast." He said, "Just get there, shave
That's
some
it. Just
time
get
off."
there. Hit the gas and go, or just leave
So-
earlier.
Yeah, he
Again.
said he literally goes to me. He goes right before I get out of the car and grab my clubs. He goes, "I'm not even fucking going. I'm not even fucking going. I'm not gonna make it."
So wait,
I'm like,
now,
dude, you don't know. You got to try.
So after I burn through 1, 2, 3, 4 red lights, I learned that from my man. What's his name tonight? Carl Cocktail. So I burned through like 5 red lights. I get out of my car, hear the announcements going on. It's like 8:27. Dude, so I got my shoes untied, like my golf shoes, my golf bag. I'm running and I see like the opening that everybody's supposed to use, but then I see the place that says for workers only, do not enter, and it's
Shortcut.
like it was a shortcut with one of the fences that has like the little latch. So I just did like a little peek over and I saw all the carts there, and I like just undid the latch. I was like, fuck it. So here I am, like running up to my car at 8:28. Again, this is like my fault. I should say our fault for not
planning it accordingly,
calculating that we should have left 2.5 hours ahead of time.
Setting you up with a tent. Now here's the story about our silent really guy in the corner. Matt texted me at 4:15 on Friday morning. And he said, "Do you need a ride to the golf course?"
Well, you should have said yes.
4:15 in the morning. We couldn't even see the golf balls that we were going to be hitting. I didn't know we were going to go that early for it.
You should have said yes. Yes, Matt. I do need a ride.
I didn't need the next day.
Friday at 6.
Well, that was funny when Anthony was running late on Saturday. I'm at the range, hitting balls because Friday I'm coming off a pull off my irons and I'm trying to figure it out. And I get a phone call from Anthony. He's all worried. "I'm not going to make it, Adam. I'm 34 minutes. And I was like, "You're fine. Just you'll be fine." And then Tom calls me and he goes, "Oh, did Anthony call you about running late?" And in the meantime, I'm texting Steve and I'm trying to let him know that Anthony's coming. And then Rob Lee texts me and says something about, Anthony wasn't there yet. And then next thing you know it, I got the guy from the actual tour calling me who was there. He says that one of your members, Steve, told me to call you and see about somebody who's coming. And I'm like, what in God's earth? I just want to hit some balls and warm up. I finally got on the range after waiting for these chaff lights to hit 6 buckets.
My apologies.
Easy there, Nash Bridges. Whose jacket are you wearing?
This is
John Travolta's.
That's it. I look like the poop emoji right now.
All right, guys, listen. We're going to give my sponsor a quick shout out here, and we'll come finish things off for the night and let everybody get to bed. So we'll be right back after this short intermission.
Hey, Mikey, you know anybody does any roofing?
Actually, I do, Raj.
Who you got for me, man?
Dude named Tom Murphy did my boss's roof. Actually does hands-on work.
Gets right up there on the roof, huh? The owner of the company?
Yeah, he does. Knows his shit, too.
That's awesome, man. Is this Thomas Paul Construction?
Yep, that's him.
Man, I heard nothing but good things about them. I'm actually on their Facebook page right now looking up some things. The pictures, the aerial view, they're really cool. He gets up there with the drone. You can see the before and afters of some of the work they've done. Go check them out on Facebook. They're a new sponsor here, the Upstate Golf Guys. So make sure you guys go support Thomas Paul Construction, Roofing and Siding. Thomas Paul Construction LLC is a full-service construction company who specializes in roofing and siding, covering the greater capital region. You can reach them at 518-308-6794. Once again, 518-308-6794. And make sure to go check out their Facebook page, see some pictures of what they've done in the past, and let them know the Upstate Golf Guys sent you.
All right, we
All right,
are
hold on.
back.
Before you start.
Whoa.
Before you start, whoa.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I knew Feet Finder was a thing, but I didn't know shingle roofing was like a new porn addiction for people.
Porn addiction. He does some amazing work, doesn't he?
It looks nice.
Stuff.
We got some video. We got some pictures and some videos of somebody with his addiction over the Newfound weekend.
Shooting
VR.
VR.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Was he shooting guns or what was he shooting?
No. He
I don't know what he was shooting. I don't know what he was shooting. Maddie knows all about VR up there in the corner. Maddie, did you bring your VR headset?
Yeah.
I did, but I didn't leave the car. I didn't even use it.
Wow.
We had one in our house. A-Trail brought his, and there was times where we would just walk into the house and he was just by himself in the living room, just looking around, just like.
They made me play.
Thank God that's all he was doing, man.
They made me play a cooking game, and I had to dodge frying pans and stuff like that. And then they made me play. Do you remember that? Like, what was that shopping show from the 90s? Like, you had to go grab as much stuff as you could from the shelves.
Yeah.
Supermarket
play
sweep.
that game too.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Supermarket sweep. Yeah.
That's it.
It's VR is pretty amazing stuff, man. I have to say. Tom, this was your first experience, right, with it?
Sure was. I'll never play it again. My back still hurts.
Dude, you should just play golf with the fucking golf club attachment. It's great.
We had it. We never played golf. We played other things, but not golf.
Speaking of golf, though, congratulations to A-Trail and Dave Cokes, who got a little bit of cash back with their skins.
Hell yeah! Congrats, guys.
guys.
What was it? What was the dollar?
Are we allowed to discuss what they're worth?
I think it was one was 410 and the other one was 463 or something like that. There was actually a lot of skins on day 3 for them.
Let's go.
I know they were happy. I know Dave was happy. He said it made his weekend just getting some of that money back. So the skins were big. I know Champ Flight, there was one guy who won 1,280 and good for him. And then the skins game, somebody won one skin for 2,800 on a birdie on 10. So,
jeez.
I actually. Off camera, we'll talk about that.
So, Adam, can I suggest something for the skins?
For ours or for the ones that
for ours. I like what I noticed. I don't know if it was just our flight, but I noticed that skins were not up until you didn't know skins until the end, basically. So I think in our personal upstate tour, you should set it up to where people don't know if a skin is holding up or not. That way, there's no chance.
Unfortunately, I can't.
You can't do that. I was gonna say for the chance.
No, it's something that they do on a national level for the national championship. They don't put the skins up until afterwards because they have to make sure that everybody is correct with the scorecards.
Gotcha.
They haven't done that in the years that I've been there. It's if you go to a regional, it's on there. You can see it as you play, but for national
Yep.
championship, they don't until afterwards.
Gotcha. I mean, I just think it opens the door for
Yeah, I mean it's there.
shitty
It's they
situations.
see it. They see it on their end when they're sitting on their laptops in the clubhouse. Those guys can actually see skins, but we can't as players until all the scorecards are handed in because of the fact that scorecards are what they go by.
Gotcha. No,
Adam,
it
do you
makes
have
sense.
the total number of golfers that were there this year? Was it over 800?
I think this year was a little bit less. I believe it was about 690. About 120 withdrew because of the hurricane. So there was a lot of guys who couldn't make it from the southern areas because of what happened with the hurricane.
That's really unfortunate. Sorry to hear
Yeah.
that.
Hope
Yep.
everybody's
Shitty.
safe and well.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
but overall, I think it was a great turnout and a great week down there at Hilton Head. I mean, I have no major complaints other than fucking shooting shitty golf, man. That's on me.
Well, I mean, it's the experience you had. I mean, we had, the directors meeting on Wednesday night, which went very well. A lot of
Especially for
the,
you. Congratulations. Fastest
Yes.
yeah, I mean,
throwing Gold Cup plus the new head
yeah, that's
cover.
that award is not for me. That's your guys' award for helping with the fastest growth. I was talking to Dennis, at the meeting. He's very pleased with what's going on in New York. He did mention that he has listened to some of the podcasts. He thinks it's a great thing that we're doing up here. A lot of the guys who played, would speak to a director from a local tour when they played, and they just said, "Oh, you're from New York? Oh, you're one of Adam's boys." So
Yep.
yeah, so we're definitely getting the word out. We had over a 40% growth since last year, which was dominating compared to other regions. I think the second was 8%. So 40% is ridiculous. And, next year, I spoke to Dennis. He believes that we're going to get over 200 plus members. So, it all comes down to you guys. But he's really excited to see what's going on in New York for what we got going on with everything happening. So, shout out to all of those who played this year. It wouldn't be what it is today without you guys. So I appreciate you guys, for everything that you do and, dedication to the tour. It means a lot. And as I mentioned to those playing, at Van Patten, if you guys bring one or two guys each for next year, we're going to blow the numbers out of the water. And, I'm hoping that we'll be one of the top regions, in a year or two.
Yeah, man. We
So,
can do it.
two things that I'd want to mention, or whatever. The guy I played with on the last day, he's not from our tour, but he has family in the Kingston area. So he said that he plays about 4 events a year on our tour, and he loved every second that he was up here. He said nothing but great things about our tour, our people, the courses, all that stuff. Great guy. And then something that we have all like sort of kicked around a few times or whatever. But if the tour gets too big to where and maybe I sound silly, but like if you can't bring 120 to one golf course, maybe we can get 2 golf courses on the same weekend, and or have like a Saturday day and a Sunday day. And then
Yep.
if say Adam can't play both days or whatever, we have another guy that has the capabilities of an Adam to do the Sunday event. So that way, I think that would help with not only the growth of the tour, but also, I think there has been conversations about um, and it comes down to the last minute. Everybody's hitting Adam up and being like, "Well, I want to play with so and so," and he does his best to make everyone's wishes come true. But if the tour gets that big to where we have 50 guys, either 50 guys on 2 different days, or 100 guys on one day, and we can't get them all out on the same course, maybe we look into having 2 events in one weekend, and having somebody else run the other event, so that way nobody from the tour is excluded based on sometimes we're at an event, and Adam, again, if I'm speaking incorrectly, I'm just trying to remember. Sometimes you only have the ability to have the first 48 or whatever. But if you have 200 guys signed up for the tour, if we have this other offshoot that they could play in or whatever, I think it might increase play, and then it
Pl-
might increase what we bring to nationals.
Plus, it might be a little more local for people and downstate.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Like I love the idea. Go ahead, Adam. What are your
Yeah, I
thoughts?
mean, a lot of it comes down to what I'm allowed to do. I know that for me as a tour director, it is something that obviously I'm responsible to getting back numbers to Golfweek Amateur and Dennis and all, Jen Newman and all those guys that are
Yep.
on his staff. I mean, unfortunately, that idea somewhat can't work because of the fact that I'm really the only person that can potentially be somebody who is controlling the system that they use.
Okay.
It's under contract, so I
So
like the idea, and I was thinking about doing that, but it would be obviously something that I can make both, so that way I'm there both days because of the fact
right,
that I'm the
Adam,
only one that has access to certain programs.
is it something potentially that we could make the upstate chapter and then have it be its own downstate chapter, basically, and then just say, for instance, you put somebody else in charge. It could still all be under one big umbrella, but is that what they want? Is they want a separate buy-in?
Basically, the whole goal for us at the New York Upstate region is to eventually just become the New York tour.
New York, just playing New York,
yeah,
right?
just straight New York. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of guys on my Facebook page. We have over 1,400 on the Facebook page. A lot of those guys are from Rochester, Syracuse,
Right.
Buffalo.
It's tough.
They want to play it. I mean, I get these guys constantly messaging me during the November through January, asking if we're going to have events out there. I thought about doing that, but it is extremely long car ride to go out to
That's all I
Buffalo
was
and
saying.
so
And
forth.
if they would allow you to appoint assistant directors based on the size of our state, because
Huge.
the Savannah Hilton Head tour, and there was like 4 guys that all played the same events, but they're all from different tours
Yeah.
because they're an hour from each other.
That's something that I'm definitely going to talk to him about.
Okay.
In the next month, I'm gonna bring that up to him. I'm gonna bring up that idea about potentially having something out in the Western New York area. 5 events throughout the
So you
year.
get
Right.
Utica, then you get the Monticello area, because we have so many great courses, but the state's so large. For them to require you to be at every event, you would have to not have an other job. You would have to only do the He hung up.
Go ahead, keep talking. No,
It's
we
just
lost
he would
Adam,
have
but
to. There's no way that he can cover the whole state. Is my point. But if
yep.
you have events near Buffalo,
Yeah.
you're gonna get Cleveland, Illinois, Michigan, and these people coming in to play that event because of the course.
I totally get it.
Yeah.
And then if you do down in like the southern states, you would get your people from New Jersey, Philly Metro,
Connecticut, right? All
Connecticut.
that
They would
stuff.
travel for that, but they're not going to come to upstate New York because it's an extra 3 hours for them. I get it.
Yeah,
it's just tough.
I mean, there's a lot of there's a lot of thought process behind it. I gotta come up with something that's going to work out for, obviously us, but something that's feasible for the Golfweek Amateur, so it's not overwhelming, and they don't like to set anything up for failure, so that's why
that makes complete sense. That's the only reason why I was saying maybe they allow you a year, 2 years, 3 years with an AD in these sub metropolitan areas. Like even if you, because of how close, like say where I am to the capital region, skip right over me. But maybe there's a guy in Westchester that doesn't want to go out to the Hamptons to play, which is where they play a lot of the metropolitan New York stuff.
I mean,
Or 2 hours in New Jersey.
my goal this year is to expand a little bit farther. I'm going to try to have 4 events. As I texted you earlier, try to get a couple of events down in the Kingston area, get 3 or 4 in the Western New York, around Utica, Verona. I mean, obviously I'm working on the regional at Turning Stone, but even if I have 1 or 2 out in that way, a little bit farther, it just allows guys to sign up and say, okay, I just have to make 4 events or 3 events and I can go
Absolutely.
to nationals.
Yeah.
So that's the goal. It's just, I have to find a strategic game plan that works, not only for me and my time, but, something that under my contract that I have with the tour, it works, in that aspect as well. So, I mean,
100%.
I have really good things happening. I have already posted, a lot of the Crump and Fox, the ranch. I'm going to try to get for a 2-day next year. So that's going to expand out to Western Mass. I think we can really get a lot of guys out in that area to join on the New York Upstate, even though we're New York Upstate. Obviously there's nothing out that way. I know Adam Miller's out there. There's a lot of guys that would be willing to play, if we expand a little bit, because, Western Mass is only less than an hour away.
Yeah. Massachusetts doesn't have they don't have a chapter, right? There's nothing in Mass.
So no, they don't. But that's why, Western Mass, I'm going to try to really expand, even like that course, out there that they have, Wabeeka. I mean, that's only less than 45 minutes from Albany. Sure. So there's a lot of golfers out that way. It's just, trying to get the tour advertised out in the Western Mass area, and so for that, I would have to really push, advertisements, towards the golf courses on Facebook pages, for the golf course to advertise it on their end.
Yep. We had a conversation on the way back from Hilton Head, and one of the ideas that I had was use the ranch as an example, right? We're going to have a 2-day there.
Yep.
And so say you set that up as early as the first day of the new year or whatever, and that the event's not going to be until May. We get those placards that like you see at a tourist spot, like if you stop at like Welcome to Massachusetts or whatever, and they have those placards or whatever. But we put them in the pro shop at the ranch for the people that go to the ranch consistently, that don't know anything about the AM Tour, that don't get Google notifications or push notifications based on geomapping or whatever. And you get the pro to talk a little bit about it. And then, like we've done on other events, I don't know if a person can play as a guest at a 2-day event. I think they can. They just can't win any money. I don't know how it goes, but you get them to play as a guest and they see what it's all about and they get to meet some of the guys. And then they're like, oh, well, I live here in Mass, but it's easy enough to drive to Albany, and then they come over. So the same thing at like the Turning Stone, or I can't remember the name of that course in Utica, but I believe we played it there one time. It has the Island Green, which is like the 11th hole or whatever. The Peninsula Green, you set up under the awning there, and then there was the practice green, and then there's the short par 3, and it's very hilly.
In Utica?
Yeah, Conklin Players Club, I think.
Oh, Conklin.
Yeah, Conklin.
That's not Utica. That's not Utica,
but
is it?
It's just outside of Utica.
Is it?
Yeah.
But so you get courses like that we already are hosting a tournament at, and we get them to hand out our flyers or pamphlets to people who are interested in that type of
Adam, I was talking to the Milwaukee. I played with the Milwaukee awesome guy the last day, and he basically considers all the courses business partners. So once he builds this relationship with all these courses, they push the AM Tour for him, and because they're potentially business partners, they want you to come there. So we definitely got to, what Tom says, utilize that. If pro shops have bulletin boards, anything like that, put the we got to get some flyers made up. I work in. Go ahead.
Videographer.
Yeah, I talked to Adam about that.
We gotta get a guy to come and do just get everybody to do a practice round. It doesn't even have to be a tour event.
Yep, get a good get a good commercial made. Yeah. And then I think, I mean, other than word of mouth, man, I think we could really grow this thing to the moon.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of great ideas, and there's a lot of things I'm going to be doing this year to push it. I know we talked, and a lot of the guys on this podcast right now are adamant about the tour. I know there's a lot of guys who do their part and advertise it, but this whole tour grew because of not of what I've done, but just because of the guys talking about it.
Yep.
Whether they talk to friends, family, colleagues at work, when you go to a driving range, I mean, it's simple. I mean, so many times I go to a driving range and I have headphones on, just listening to music, swinging golf balls, and I got people tapping on my shoulder saying, "Oh, you have such a beautiful swing." So guys that even right now, like during this time of year, we still got about a month of solid golf. And if you go to a range, just knock on someone's, shoulder and just say, "Hey, I noticed you have, some talent. You're hitting the golf ball well. Do you play often?" Yeah. Well, you should join this tour. If everybody on the tour who's members do that, I mean, you'd be surprised by just, on your daily, golf that you do, you just let them know about the tour. I mean, that's a lot of how it grew, from 3 years ago to today. It's just word of mouth by you guys. So,
yep.
I mean, that's what I do when I go and play at a driving range. I'll have business cards with me. I'll talk to them. If I go play golf on my own and I paired up with guys, I know a lot of guys do that. Johnny Resto, we went to that tournament out with, Ali, and he was passing them out like tracks, and he was, a missionary in the jungles. He was passing those out. So, I mean, if you guys are dedicated to growing the tour with me, because I'm not doing it just because, I want to do something on the side. I do this because I love the game and I want everybody here to enjoy themselves and get better and compete. But if everyone had that mindset and just, like Johnny does, I mean, kudos to him. I mean, that guy loves this thing, and a lot of other guys are doing the same thing. But that's it. If you guys love the tour, then, let people know about it and don't just, keep it to yourself. There's a lot of golfers out there in New York. It's actually nuts. That's what Dennis was telling me, at the directors meeting. He goes, New York is, your growth can be anywhere from 250 to 500 members because of how many people are in, New York that are looking for something like this. So it all comes down to you guys, just a word of mouth. I'll do our part with the advertisements, with the flyers, but, just help me, help me out by just, sharing it.
Help me.
Yeah.
Help you. What movie was that?
If everybody right now, we had 116 members this year. If everybody gets at least one person and comes back next year, we might lose a few. Some people have already moved out of New York over the, some of the guys that played are, leaving the area. But, say 100 of us, all got one or two. We're at 300 people. So, I mean, boom, just like that.
Yep. Absolutely, man.
Are they going to open up an E-flight next year? This is the last question.
Yes, that's going to be just you and I.
Excellent.
I love it.
That would be a G flight, though.
I mean, for those who played this year, thanks again for, the dedication you had this year. For those that made the trip down to Hilton Head, we had record numbers this year. We had 22 guys total, which is about 19% of our membership was actually down in Hilton Head. So thank you to those that spent your hard-earned money on getting down to Hilton Head. It means a lot. Not only to myself, but for Dennis and his staff. I mean, this is their lifestyle. They love this. So, thanks again, for everything. And I'm going to do my best between now and, tee off next year for our opener, to do my part and to make it that much better.
Thank you, Adam. Thank you for everything you do, buddy. Round of applause for my man.
And clap with one hand if you want me to.
And Matt,
no, I mean, it's just, I love the guys that play. I know there's been some ups and downs. We get through them just like family. If there's some issues, feel free to contact me. There's going to be a lot of changes this off season. There's going to be a little bit of a makeover with some of the leadership and some of the things we're doing. Yeah, we're gonna get some Hooter girls that are gonna be on the events now, serving drinks. No.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Oyster Reef needs a little work on that because their car. Oof.
Oyster Reef. We don't even want to go.
Give me a little Carl cocktail. Give me a little impression of the car girl at that place. Oyster Reef.
I mean.
Go ahead.
Which one, the Hamburglar or the bubble gum with the legs?
I don't know. The first one we saw on Thursday.
It was the Hamburglar, I think.
Yeah.
The old lady.
No hamburger.
Can I get you a drink? I gotta leave. Hurry up, because I gotta leave.
Just leave the cart here and walk back. It's better for you.
That's it. They were probably former New Yorkers that came down and now are cart girls at Oyster Reef.
Holy shit! But I,
the only thing about Oyster Reef I can say is I'm sad that I have yet to play number 10.
Every time. Go on.
Every time. It's like, sorry.
I just don't understand. So Adam, I don't understand what the rush was though, because we were trying to figure out.
Well, the rush was the fact that the guy woke up and probably hasn't gotten laid in probably at least 15 years.
We're not allowed to
and first off, we have a 9 o'clock in the morning start, and he likes to hold us there until 9:30 to give all of his announcements about how not to look both ways when you cross the street, because these guys will kill you in the cars. And then eventually Tom and I decided, hey, let's just go to 1 because I think he's done. And then next thing you know, we hear him go, whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah. And, he had more announcements. And then by the time we tee off, it's 9:30. We get around the corner. It's only 11:20. And he's like, you guys spent 2.5 hours out there on 9, so you got to skip 10. It's like, bro, you kept us here for 30 minutes on your damn announcements.
Yeah. And then all we did was rush to the next tee to get held up by the group in front of us.
Yeah. Then we get to the par 3 11th, and there's guys just getting off the green. So, Oyster Reef, you got to do better than that.
My favorite part of his announcement was when he goes, don't worry, after you finish 18, you can come play 10. After we finished not 18, we skipped 17 and 18 because we had to get somewhere. 10 had 42 teams on it.
There was probably about 12 cars waiting, and
it was.
I think the funniest part about Oyster Reef on that practice round was when the starter was about to give his announcements, and then Rob Lee jumps in and he's like, oh, hold on. Oh, you know everything? Here, go ahead, give the announcements. And Rob was just caught in the middle of it, and he's just like, oh. So immediately I knew that guy definitely needed to, look in the mirror and smile and say, I love you.
Yeah, some people needed that, especially the starters.
That guy definitely hates his life.
But he reminds me of the guy that we encountered at the practice round on the Cape.
Dennis
Penis.
Yeah. Single-digit handicaps only, Tom, on the black tees.
And then you lace your driver, and I hit my forward. We both carry the bunker, and then he just has to go sit in a corner somewhere.
He's like, have fun. And then a couple of holes later, he was in the woods.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. Every once in a while, he'd come out like Homer Simpson.
I didn't know Homer Simpson was gay.
All right,
it's all good. It's all good.
I need to go to bed. I need to go to bed. Let's close the thing.
You took a nap today. I haven't even slept yet.
Did you just say he took a nap today? He slept all day yesterday.
All day yesterday on the ride home.
All day.
Literally, I drove 15 hours straight, and then I got home at 11:40, and then I went to bed and woke up at 7 to go to work. And this guy says, we're going to do 9:30. I've been sleeping all day. And I was like, okay.
And he wakes up, and I'm on a shoulder road between a tractor trailer and a guardrail.
Yeah, we heard all about your driving. That's why if we ever go down to Hilton Head together, we're going to fly and let the pilot handle the road.
I close my eyes.
Turn over the plane to me, buddy. I'm going to shave the time off.
Do you understand why I just slept the whole way? Do you get it?
Listen.
Yeah,
I would have went to AutoZone and got 6 seatbelts and installed them in my car.
I was just praying.
Hold on, Matt was finally going to say something.
Go ahead, Matt.
I wasn't going to say nothing.
He sits in the darkness in the top right corner of the podcast.
I'm sitting here falling asleep because I drove fucking 10 hours today from
sorry to hear that.
Listen.
So Tom, when you drive, do you just go through the woods, or do you actually stay on the road?
Most of the time I'm on the road, but if I need to, I'll use whatever part of the earth that's available.
Well, it was actually funny because Anthony texted the group and he's like, final stretch, and I'm thinking, okay, maybe he's in Jersey. He's like, no, I just dropped Tom off. And I'm like, what time did they leave? And and then next thing I find out tonight, 14.5 trip took only 10 hours.
It was just about 10 hours.
I can only thank Waze for that. It gave me a lot of different directions.
So if anyone listening to this podcast needs to get somewhere sooner, just talk to Carl Cocktail, and he'll hook you up.
I still don't know what I'm gonna do if I get like a notification that I have like a bunch of speeding tickets, blowing through red lights for me that morning. Like, what happens with rental cars? Are they gonna Matt?
Pay it. You gotta pay it. Your license is
I
associated
listen.
to it.
Listen,
I-
I'll represent you in court because they can't prove who was driving.
So, I'm gonna say I was sleeping in the back seat the whole time.
I didn't even know we were on the road. I thought we were in the parking lot, and I woke up when we were in New York. I don't know how I
Last
got
thing I
there.
know, we checked out of the Airbnb and I fell asleep in the car, and then I woke up at my house.
That's all I'm gonna say.
That's
That's
all.
it.
Honestly, how is it my
Those
fault?
those tickets in Maryland, whatnot, they're only like $30-$40, not much.
Oh, good. We'll whack it up.
I get
for
one-
you.
I get one every year.
45 of them. So
Yeah, only got 45 of them.
We'll start a GoFundMe.
All right, let's close this
the
thing out,
best thing I
boys.
could say about Mike
All
is
right.
Mike rode shotgun for about 7 hours of that trip. Never grabbed the holy shit handle. Didn't move his hand too much. Was playing with the phone, just hanging
No.
out. And then a couple of times he goes, "That one was kind of close."
Cool as a cucumber, kid. Cool as a
That's it.
cucumber.
Remember the one time Ant woke up and we almost rear-ended that car? Not the time
The
that the
Nissan
auto
locked
brakes.
up.
Yeah, not the time that the brakes shut the car off, but the time that we squeezed in between the two cars, and there was enough room for an envelope in between each of the cars.
We
And
had
then
to tell him
Anthony
to
goes,
go back to sleep.
"Yeah."
Wait, what speed? Fred to say, what speed were we doing this at?
90
Holy Christ!
kilometers
Fluctuated.
an hour. Kilometers. I'm very British.
90 to about $120.
Oh
That's
my
it.
God! I just kept. Why do you think I slept the whole fucking ride home, guys? I couldn't watch it. I just.
You almost took a final sleep.
No,
Oh,
I
was
wish
just-
I could show you with this pillow behind me. Hold on. He was like this in the back seat. Ready?
Listen, I would have put a helmet on.
I think that's what he was trying to do with the pillow.
I was
Yeah.
just praying that Nissan had really good side airbags.
He
Okay.
did actually say a prayer to God. He said, "Please, God, get me home safe."
Didn't I have a talk with you that morning or the night before? I said, "Listen, I have a family at home that really needs me, buddy.
And I got you there
That's it.
safely.
Jesus,
You
take
did.
the wheel.
Schedule.
Jesus,
You
take
did.
the wheel.
Take the wheel, God."
And he got you home to that family 2 hours sooner.
He sure did.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
All right.
Maddie,
All right.
Maddie, thank you for coming on tonight.
Gentlemen.
Go to bed.
Yes, sir.
Adam,
Love yous
thank
all.
you for all you do. Partner
Thank
in
you
crime,
for the
Mikey.
tour, Adam. Thank you for
Absolutely.
the tour.
Cocktails.
All the work
getting
you
Happy to
active
do
over
it.
here.
Carl
Absolutely.
Cocktail is just getting a little more water.
That's
That's
it.
it.
That's right. He's
But we're
getting
gonna keep this.
active.
We'll keep this thing going in the off season, man. We'll do some. Podcasts, maybe live from the indoor places. We'll figure some things out to see how everybody's doing in the wintertime. We'll definitely
That's it.
We'll
keep
throw
it
something
rolling.
together.
Can we
Absolutely,
get
guys.
a cart girl on the indoor rounds?
Of course.
Absolutely.
What would you like?
Only the ones from Orchard, or only the ones from Oyster Reef.
Oyster creeps.
Oyster Creeps. I forgot the name
I'm
of
pretty sure I understand why they call it Oyster Reef now, but I'm not going to say it on the air.
All right.
All right, guys.
I gotta
All right,
go.
man. All right, I love
Peace.
you all. Thank you, Mikey. Close me out.
518 to the Cape.
Thank you all for having a good.
Later,
Have
bro.
a good night. Bye, guys.
Peace.
Peace.